Hornets win 129-108. Let's go. All preseason, I had to listen about how the Hornets suck going 0-5. 0-5. I had to hear it all preseason. And you know what? Tonight was no indicator that they suck because they blew out the Spurs. Forget all of that. Forget all of that. Tonight's game was orgasmic. You see this sexy beast over here? You see this sexy beast over there? We're going to call him NICK-o-TINE because inject this stiff. I can't get enough of this man and his play. He stepped up. Everyone stepped up. There's no LaMelo Ball this game. We have no Miles Bridges. Our starters for the game were Terry Rozier, Kelly Oubre, Gordon Hayward, Mason Plumlee, and PJ Washington. Not an ideal lineup, but you know what? We showed them. We showed the Spurs and everyone who tuned in for the game, which is probably like no one, but hey, details. Make no mistake, our opponent was not one of strength, considering that the Spurs had more teenagers in their lineup than the college team, UTSA. 6 points and 2 steals from Kelly Oubre right out the gates. How can you not be mad about that? You don't. And then the Hornets, what do? 18-7 by the first time out. And you know what the best part is? They haven't even taken a 3 yet. No. Your Charlotte Hornets do not take a 3 until 6 minutes into the game. Ooh. The Spurs, they're kind of worried around here. They start full court pressing in the first quarter. We're talking lots of steals by the Hornets. They have them on the ropes already. Well, at least they would be if Terry Rozier would stop missing open layups. But with 4 minutes left in the game, 25-14, they have a double-digit lead. The Hornets blowing out an opponent? I mean, this is the first time they looked confident since Gordon Hayward went off for 41 points, and that was last year. And an all too familiar sight starts to form. The Hornets' perimeter defense looks shoddy at best. Doug McDermott checks in and goes off. 2 back-to-back threes from Doug McDermott. Cody Martin, who was looking competent and who was looking like a real contributor, gets his left quad injured and he's out the game, doesn't come back. We have to start going into our bench. We're looking for depth here, and depth we get as Dennis Smith Jr. checks in, gets a steal and a nice little layup. The Spurs, they start looking inexperienced, making rookie mistakes. I mean, because most of them are rookies, are not even old enough to drink. They start stepping out of bounds by accident. Careless turnovers. You just know Greg Popovich is running them a new one. Oubre, who is stepping up and having a game, he is the man. He's the man. It's a little wraparound pass to Nick Richards, who starts to heat up. PJ Washington steps up. PJ Washington, he's stepping up. He hits a 3. 35-22 Hornet. Second quarter gets started, and they don't skip a beat, man. The ticker comes up, and you see 8-1 Spurs turnovers. Nick Richards, who is just eating the glass, and it's not even the defensive glass. He only has 1 defensive rebound, but by the second quarter, he's got 6. 5 of them were offensive rebounds, and they're all put back dunks right after. I mean, he's stepping up. And then you start looking over, and then the bench squad starts coming out, and then you start squinting a little bit, trying to get the names. You see JT Thor, who you also want to step up, makes a crucial block, recovers it, and he passes it to number 5, James Bouknight. To number 5, James Bouknight, and wait a goddamn minute. James Bouknight. You know, for a team that was preaching accountability in the offseason, I'm really not seeing any accountability around here. We're deep into the second quarter, and we have 6 dunks in the game. 1 comes from Gordon Hayward from a nice Terry Rozier feed. But this perimeter defense, again, all too familiar sight. But you got to remember, we got a new head coach. So now we just have interior defense problems as the Spurs are starting to have their way driving inside with no contest, no pushback at all. 5 minutes left in the second, and we're up by 23. Let's go. 59-36. Nick Richards, he's looking like a man amongst teenagers. Look at him. Look at him. Look at him. That's a man right there. The GM, Mitch Kupchak, said he improved the most in the offseason. He put on 10 pounds. Yeah, he's going to look like a man now. He is locked in. Halftime comes around, 68-47 Hornets. Inject this into my vein. I mean, the Hornets, they look aggressive. I'm getting the fix, man. This team's looking deep. Like I said in my last video, shameless plug, they're looking deep. 19 points from the bench, 12 coming from Nick Richards alone. Dennis Smith Jr., he has a stat in each column. This man is just a stat filler. My only complaint about the team so far in the first half is that Doug McDermott has 12 points off the bench. And then me going to my old lizard brain, you know, no lead is safe with the Hornets. It's just not. I've seen this movie 1,000 times, and we know how this goes. We're all saying we all know how this goes. And the movie that we've seen 1,000 times starts to play again. Kelly Oubre, who was having a night so far, gets into foul trouble. And, yeah, he's got 4 fouls by the third quarter. PJ Washington does his best Brett Favre impression and decides to just whoosh, Hail Mary-a-ho, and gets intercepted. I mean, the Spurs, they start getting a run on. I'm talking a pretty intimidating one, I'll say. They start going on this run by driving in. No one's contesting them. Keldon the Mustang Johnson is just having his way with these big men. And then more irrational thoughts start forming as we see Gordon Hayward off a screen falls to the floor. And ever since that Celtics injury in 2018, I start thinking he's dead. His ankle, noodles, gone, garbage. He gets up. Terry Rozier still missing layups for whatever reason. And the Spurs capitalize on the other end, and they go on a 13-2 run. Ooh, embarrassing. Embarrassing. Keldon Johnson has 17 points by this time. And then the Hornets start to respond. Coach Clifford makes them dig deep. And Mason Plumlee, left-handed layup. It was a fancy one. It was like, oh, I never seen this before. What else you got? PJ Washington just pulls up and hits another 3. Ooh, okay. And then the highlight for me today, Terry Rozier does this half spin-a-rooney on Josh Primo and just drops a hoe. Oh my God, he drops him. That man's not getting up anytime. And then he just hits a little smooth layup. The Spurs, they keep hitting threes. They make it a 10-point game with 4 minutes left. And then more Hornets luck starts coming their way. You start having these patterns again. And then Nick Richard gets hit by Doug McDermott. And he's holding on to his wrist. And you're just, oh no. Oh. PTSD. Less than a minute left in the quarter. Devin Vassell, Tallahassee's finest, tries to challenge McDaniels at the rim. McDaniels, perfect swat, sends him back to FSU. And McDaniels, ba-da-ba-ba-ba, I'm loving it. I'm loving it all. Fourth quarter starts, and Terry Rozier hits another 3. We're up by 26. Do you feel the energy? I'm getting my fix. Woo! Fourth quarter comes along, and, you know, Nick Richards has 19 points off the bench. Does Charlotte have a big man now? Do we have a big man now? Ooh, we have a big man now. I feel it. It's giving big Drummond vibes. Just rebounds and putbacks. And I can get down with that. I promise you, I can get down with that. He's got 9 rebounds in the game, 8 offensive, 1 defensive. Have you ever heard that before? Have you seen that before? 8 minutes left in the game. They're up by 32. 32 points. This team. Into the fourth quarter now. The Spurs, they have like their G League team by that point. They got Romeo Langford. He's still in the league, good for him, but yeah, he's in the game, and the Hornets still have their starters. Are you crazy? Do you want everyone to get hurt? They put in second rounder McGowan's, Bryce McGowan's from Nebraska. They put in JT Thor. They put in Kai Jones from Texas. Mark Williams from Duke. James Bouknight. And Theo Maledon, a late pickup in free agency or in the offseason. Yeah, this youth lineup wasn't all that thrilling with in garbage time. I thought they would, pour it on, but all that really happened was just Kai Jones hitting a nice shot. Doesn't matter. The game ends and the Hornets start 1-0. Do you feel it? Steve Clifford is back, and he's going to drag this team into the playoffs, whether they like it or not. You feel it. You feel it. You want it. You need it. But their next game is on Friday. We can't get too far ahead of ourselves. We basically played a college team, a glorified college team, a rebuilding team that is much deeper in the rebuild than the Hornets are. So let's see how far we can keep this going. Now that you introduced me to this drug that is Nick Richards, I'm going to need more of it. Can he do this for 82 games? Let's see. But nicotine has been acquired. I have a taste for it.